let's explore Old Republic and 8 other spiritual poems. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Today's first poem, Old Republic. Being of service is a privilege. Using one's talents in the benefit of others is a delight. So say the Jedi of the Old Republic. Today's second poem, The Place for Passivity. During each inhalation, may our mindfulness be passive and vulnerable. During each exhalation, may our insights be relaxing as well as accepting. And may our compassionate action be centered and spontaneous. Today's third poem, The Essence of Love. Great freedom for each mind. Skillfulness for all speech. Profound health for each form. And very good fortune for each circumstance. This is the essence of universal love. Today's fourth poem, Walk It Off. What is that? You say your life has been turned upside down by drama, unwanted, and destructive. You say you have not a clue as to how to fix it. Walk it off. During your next walking meditation, with every inhalation, passively and vulnerably notice whatever spontaneously comes to mind. With every exhalation, relax and accept and release as best you can. Do this over and over and over again for 20 or 40 or 60 minutes as around your block you briskly walk. You could find this does not actually shift the elements of the 3-ring circus that your life has become, but it could shift your perspective from being utterly defined by it to that of a grandfather amusedly watching his grandchildren at play from the comfort of a park bench, thus having slid into the eye of the hurricane that is your life's drama. You could notice that your outrage and anxiety could no longer perch upon your shoulder like the ravens of Odin, but instead have flown away, and in their absence, peace could warm your face and loosen your shoulders, and in time a right solution might occur to you, or it might not. The circumstance might just work itself out. Like a storm that has exhausted itself, having failed to blow down a mountain, leaving only clear skies and singing birds in its wake. Today's fifth poem, Beneficial. Please do not give your power away to a teacher or an organization or a creed or a book. Please do not clutch onto your power with the white-knuckled intensity of a youngling in his first duel. Rather, dance with your personal power. Allow yourself to center and flow and move and journey in ways both surprising and beneficial. Today's sixth poem, Slaves. Whether sitting in meditation or walking meditation, do not actively breathe. Do not actively choose how deep or shallow or slow or fast to breathe. Do not actively choose which part of your body to breathe from, or with which part of your body to notice your breath. For all of these are but the many faces of our controlling tendencies that line patriarchy's path of young, like crucified rebel slaves upon the Appian Way. Better yet, to walk the path of centered spontaneity, simply noticing what is happening rather than making it happen. Like Qui-Gon Jinn upon Tatooine, who explained, "I counsel patience, the solution will present itself." Today's seventh poem, Self-Protection. There are parts of our brains that are wired for self-protection. Sometimes those regions are remarkably effective, and other times they do far more harm than good. It is obvious that manic goal setting is a form of craving that could breed destructive rigidity. But what about its opposite? What about when we use pessimism in an effort to protect ourselves? If manic goal setting is a craving that pulls, then rigid pessimism is a craving that pushes. Far more honest it could be to face the circumstances of our present moment, as well as face the emotions we have about them, as well as the stories we tell about them. Far more healthy it could be to be honest with those things and then to let go of them, relaxing into the grotesquerie of it, knowing it might change for the worse, also knowing it might change for the better. But if we maintain noticing and letting go as our constants, we could make the most of this unpredictable adventure called life. Like Anakin in a pod racer, and then in Padme's arms, and then in the second Death Star. Today's eighth poem, Symbolism. Let us take a moment to review the 4 attributes of a daka or a dakini, and what their symbolism could mean to our meditation. A chondro, as they are known in Tibet, is depicted as naked and comprised of light and beautiful and dancing. The nudity could be a metaphor for the vulnerability of our mindfulness. Being comprised of light could be a metaphor for the non-graspability of all we perceive and emote and intend and reason and recall and imagine. Beauty could be a metaphor for compassion, and dance could be a metaphor for the centered spontaneity of enlightened action. Today's ninth and final poem, Agent of Kindness. It is inevitable there will come a time when we inadvertently cause another pain. If we are fortunate enough to have that pointed out to us when we do, we will, each of us, experience a defensive impulse. The question is not whether that impulse is present, but whether or not we indulge it. For indulging our defensiveness is not an act of humility, but an act of pride. And pride of self is antithetical to love of others. For love seeks the benefit of others, whereas pride seeks the benefit of oneself. And this is the really important bit. For pride seeks the benefit of itself at the cost of others. So when we are notified that our behavior has inadvertently harmed another, what could be the loving response? What could be the humble response? First, apologize. Reassure them that the harm you brought was more out of ignorance than it was from malice. And reassure them further that you are enthusiastic to not repeat that mistake. And that you care for them. And that you sincerely feel that they deserve to be treated better. And then do that thing. Embrace the modification of your hurtful behavior. There is no need to be shocked, for you already know, at least on some level, that you are far less than perfect. What if this could be a good thing? For now you have learned a way that you could grow and do less harm and do more good. You have learned a way to refine your love and become an even greater agent of kindness. And this could be a very good thing indeed. Let us conclude with a simple call to action. This podcast will never have any advertisements, so support us monthly on PayPal and like us on your podcast service to help others find us, just as you found us as well. If meditation has felt impossible or boring or just out of reach, you are welcome to register at buddhajoy.org for the next series of live, online, and meditation class webinars that meet once a week.